How's it going, everybody? This is BeatTheBush. Today I'm going to talk about my Black Friday haul. Basically, I bought nothing. Now, right on Black Friday, I actually bought nothing. However, on Thursday morning, I actually did buy something. I had to buy two 4 terabyte external hard drives for $80 each. This is something I've been looking at for the past 2 weeks or so. This is needed for me to mirror all the data that I need to back up so that I can throw away all the disks I have. So I think if you have a real need for a certain item before you even start looking at ads, you already know that you need certain things, and then you are hunting for it for a while, and then you see a low price, then yes, buying it would most likely be worth it to you rather than ads showing you that something is really cheap, trying to get rid of inventory, something that they don't really want. Then you end up buying this stuff, and then you end up having all this stuff that's just sitting around that you don't really even use. Now, like I said in previous videos, I never used to be into Black Friday all that much. However, I think the hype and stuff, people, talking about it just kind of got me to buying more and more of it over the years. And then I guess last year I started buying a lot less. And now this year, right on Black Friday, I actually bought nothing at all. The first thing that helps me not buy anything is the realization that it's not worth my time to flip items. So I look at something, and then I still looked at a few items, and I compared the street price of those things, and I go, I'm just eyeballing it, and then I'm like, well, if I resell this, yeah, I might make a little bit, but after all the fees and things, I might make like $10, $0 sometimes even. Buying stuff. It's not a money maker opportunity here. I don't think it's a big money maker. Mostly you should be buying stuff if you actually need it. If you've been looking for it for like a month or more, then you have it on a shopping list, and then you're like, oh, I need certain things, and you purposely wait for Black Friday to come around so that you wait for, maybe some store will have that for cheap, and then you buy it. Then it becomes a money saving opportunity. Now, just recently, I read a news article where there are about 100 people waiting in front of a shoe store in LA the night of Thanksgiving, and then they waited 12 hours to, be first in line to get something. I think the sneaker was like $500 to $1,000. So whatever value that they're extracting from this, they spent about 12 hours, and they need to be, one of the first few people that get such good value. And then I assume, I'm going to estimate that they made about $500 in this ordeal. They might have roughly made off with about $40 an hour waiting outside in the cold, and probably not sleeping very well because, they just have to stand around or just sit. So it really depends on the person if this is worth it or not, because if you earn a lot less than $40 an hour, let's say you can only make $13 an hour, doing manual labor stuff, blue collar type jobs that I just tried out. If that is the case for me, then yeah, I might just do that just to, pick up a little bit of extra money. But you also have to weigh in the fact of the discomfort level that you have to subject yourself to. You have to wait in line. You have to be in the cold. You have to be outside. Just jumping through hoops just to earn that little extra money. Now, I look through slick deals all the time just for fun. Sometimes I catch a really good deal. But this Black Friday, I've been looking through everything, and I didn't see really all that much that I personally wanted to buy. I mean, I did see this $2 blanket thing, but I have plenty of blankets already. So the mentality here is you really have to look at what you have already and what you can make do without. Mainly, you don't really want to buy stuff that duplicates whatever you have. You don't want to pre-buy anything either because you think, oh, it would be nice to buy this in preparation for whatever event. Yeah, if that event ever comes, but it might not be so good to buy duplicates of things such as blankets if you already have blankets to use. Another item that I cringe at is a label maker. Basically, you have these really cheap label makers. It's basically this full-blown electronic device. Inside, there's a circuit board, there's batteries, there's a little printer inside, and I do not think it actually costs them only $5 to make this thing. Sometimes it goes on sale $10, $15 even. Maybe not Black Friday prices, but this pricing of this item is highly suspicious. It makes me think about the inkjet printers where they price them really, really low. They get you to buy it, and then you bring it home, and it comes with like a really tiny roll of the printable media that you can print on it. And once you finish this up, you're going to realize that the little rolls that you need to buy, it's going to be very expensive. And I looked it up. It's like $15 per per cartridge. And the worst thing about these things is that you type something in and then you press print, and then it's gonna spit it out and it's gonna push it all the way out. It's gonna waste about an inch of white space. And a lot of people complain about this, and there's not much you can do. And people just go, oh, if you want to save room, save the tape, then you can just print a lot of little pieces and then cut it yourself. This is just ridiculous. I feel like they have the technology here to basically print without, wasting that much. Basically, they can print it in such a way where, they might only waste maybe 1 or 2 millimeter of space. They're doing this on purpose so that they spit out extra tape, so that you use extra tape, because this is their money maker. The more tape they use, the more money they make, because once you finish up this roll of tape, you have to buy another $15 roll of this printable media stuff. So what's the way around this? I personally do not have a label maker. And what do I do? Well, basically you can just write on a little piece of paper and use a little piece of tape that's wider than the piece of paper. You can just write on a piece of paper and cut it sort of thin, and then you tape a piece of tape over that, and then that becomes a sticky. You stick that on whatever you want, it works just fine. The next item I like to talk about in this Black Friday shopping thing is a color laser printer. Now, why is this important? Is because I personally have a monochrome laser printer and it works just fine. I don't actually need to print color at any point in time. Very little people require color laser even. It's kind of something nice to have. And, if my monochrome laser printer ever breaks, then, or maybe if it runs out of ink, but it seems like it's lasting forever basically. So if it ever breaks, then yeah, I'm gonna go and, upgrade to a color laser one day. Basically for a lot of people, what I saw is color duplex even. I don't have duplex. It means it prints on both sides. Color laser for $69 for this thing. And it's basically about the same price I paid for the monochrome laser, about 8 years ago. And for a lot of people that aren't as thrifty, I guess, they would just go and buy it, I guess. And then they would go, it's upgrade to a color laser. And then what do they do with the monochrome laser? I don't know. I guess they'll sell it, toss it, give it to someone else. Something like that. Now, if you have just too much money to throw around, where you're retired early, financially independent, you're not working anymore, then yeah, that might be, something that you can do if you just want to burn money, sure. In my case, I'm trying to convince you to do the same, where if you can hold on to something that is useful, that is, that will do for whatever that you need, you don't actually need to upgrade. Sometimes people's mentality is when they see something that's really cheap, they might pre-buy things. Like you might have a second item of the same thing and you're like, oh, it's so cheap, let me buy it again because I really like this item. I want to buy this brand new one even though I don't need it, and you're gonna shove it in the closet or something in preparation for when one day the one that you're using actually breaks. Now, I've been guilty of doing this. I bought a DSL modem. Actually, I didn't pay all that much for it, but I had to sign up for some service in order to obtain this. But I had that DSL modem for the longest time. I actually never used it. And I'm sure a lot of you guys out there have duplicate items of the same thing just sitting around not being used. Now, sometimes it's very helpful to have duplicate items if you need a backup. For example, if you have very critical systems where you absolutely need an internet connection or something, then sure, you need a backup where you can just swap it in. But most of the time for, daily consumer home use stuff, you don't need backups of anything. And if you can get over this fact of not needing backups of anything, then you can greatly reduce the depreciation of things that you have duplicates of that are sitting around. I hope you enjoyed this Black Friday Anon haul and this way of thinking about buying consumer goods, and actually this way of thinking of not buying a consumer goods. Don't forget to give me a like on this video, comment down below. Let me know if all these ideas and views helps you out. If you're interested in supporting my channel, check out my Audible link down in the video description below. And if you don't like this audiobook or this service, you can cancel it before the subscription expires. And you do not have to owe a thing, and you can still keep this free audiobook. I also have a Patreon over here where you can support my channel directly, where I give perks such as help with your credit score or help with your finances. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to my channel over here and click that bell icon next to the subscribe button so that you get a new notification whenever I upload a brand new video. Thanks for watching.